Chinese leadership have succumbed to the lure of creating money to pay off soaring debts. Inflation decimated dynasties following dynasties, with both the Mongols and Mao Zedong's communists capturing power in a land plagued by depreciated paper. Between April and June of 2016, there were 5 ozone ascents at the Baradi Station, Indian Mission, in Antarctica. Leading scientists at Baradi Station were alarmed when the stratospheric temperature dropped to -82.24 C on June 20, 2016, signaling the creation of stratospheric clouds that might lead to a reduction in the stratospheric ozone concentration.
Never has the world of journalism been so explosive, so global, and so competitive. Forget hourly news flashes, we live in a world of 24-hour breaking news with radio and TV stations and internet sites updating stories by the minute and newspapers adjusting to stay fresh, in depth, and relevant.
Road accidents now account for nearly 1/5 of all deaths in the United States. This pattern implies that many individuals are dying as a result of negligent and irresponsible driving. To stay alive on the road, you must observe lane, traffic, and safety standards. Since no other species possesses anything approximating human language, it appears that language originated out of nowhere. The ability to perceive and produce sound in other creatures means that they can communicate. It is possible that these systems were in existence before the development of language.
Scientific and cultural institutions that collect, analyze, trade, and exhibit plants for research as well as public enjoyment are known as botanic gardens. Each capital city has a prominent botanical garden. Captive breeding, preservation, research, and display of native and exotic wildlife are the primary goals of zoological parks and aquariums.
Blades in a pair of scissors. The interior edge of each blade is razor sharp. There are also handles on scissors. With the blades pointing down, scissors should always be held by their handles with the tips facing up. You grab the handles of a pair of scissors and draw them outward to cut a piece of paper.
It is not an exaggeration to claim that there has been a recent surge in cybercrime. Viruses are currently the most common issues wreaking havoc on computers. Viruses are programs or codes that insert themselves or attach themselves to a media and multiply and infect another program, sector, or document. Viruses cause data files and other programs to be destroyed or altered.
A few notable astrobiologists believe that within the next few years, we will either have uncovered strong evidence for extraterrestrial life or exiled it to the ever-shrinking reaches of the galaxy. Some of these answers might be available by 2030 from one or more projects that are dedicated to finding extraterrestrial life. A huge and sparsely inhabited island off the southern coast of Australia, Tasmania is known for its natural beauty. Naturalists go to the island to study the area's unique fauna and flora. Tasmania, for example, is home to 12 species of birds that are unique to the state.
In an annual report, the UN assesses how much the most recent climate commitments fall short of the Paris Agreement's objectives. It concludes that the world is short of what it could have been. Climate change is expected to rise by almost 2.7 degrees Celsius if all of the new promises are implemented, according to this year's study.
The greatest human longevity, according to Dr. Jan Vig of the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, is 115 years, plus or minus a few years. It's a trend-based study, a look at the current state of global longevity statistics. Housing fulfills the basic needs that people have for security, privacy, and shelter. While the adequacy of housing is an important component of individual well-being, housing also has great impact on the nation's economy, with its influence on investment levels, interest rates, building activity, and employment. Much of the country experiences a Mediterranean climate with warm or hot, dry summers and the rainfall falling in winter. A semi-arid climate occurs in the south, eastern part of Spain but is also found elsewhere in the country such as the Ebro Basin. Here the summers are hot and the winters cool, but there is limited precipitation at any time of year. The northern part of the country experiences an oceanic climate, with both winter and summer temperatures influenced by the proximity to the Atlantic Ocean and rainfall spread throughout the year.
Overconfidence often leads to misadventures, jeopardizing one's life prospects. Any accomplishment, it is properly said, is the product of two factors: personal planning and external support. People consider solely their own plans, neglecting other considerations in most cases. As a result, they can't predict what will happen in the future. As a result, there's a high chance of failing. Humanitarianism is the practice of treating others with benevolence and generosity because one believes in the intrinsic worth of every human existence. It is the philosophical conviction that the human race may be improved in many ways. The term humanitarian refers to a practitioner.
Divorce has been shown to have a wide range of negative effects on the environment, including an increased demand for resources and a decrease in household resource efficiency. Divorce is an ignored aspect that must be taken into account when discussing environmental protection and the fight against climate change.
While there are many different types of ponds, they are all tiny stagnant pools of water where plants with roots can flourish. Temperatures and water flow are minimal. Oxygen is available during daytime hours because of the abundance of plants. When photosynthesis ceases at night, oxygen levels can become dangerously low.
Animal locomotion is a significant source of inspiration for machine design since it supports such a diverse range of animal behaviors. Musculoskeletal systems may be complicated and have numerous degrees of flexibility, which necessitates mechanical contact with the physical world to monitor and manage them. Our knowledge of how animals run under control has been greatly enhanced thanks to recent breakthroughs in robotics.
Advanced marketing is a catch-all word for the majority of your online marketing efforts. Organizations employ innovative avenues to connect with their current and potential clients, such as Google Search, web-based social networking, email, and their websites. The reality is that people now spend twice as much time online as they did 12 years ago.